morning. Good morning. Had to get my coffee. And now I gotta get and see if we're operating properly on the tubes of view. Oh, and now I gotta get, we are. So we are good to go. All right. Morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name is Ryan. I get stuff from yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores, flea markets, various other similar places, and try to make a few extra bucks online. I live stream most Monday mornings, every now and then another day or two of the week if I've got something fun to talk about or to express or get angry, which I don't get angry that much. So today, decent weekend of sales. The last couple weeks have been slow, kind of across the entire eBay spectrum. This weekend was pretty decent for me. Had like 7 sales, but one got refunded because the buyer was being a little difficult. And the good thing is we got it handled and canceled before said buyer. Actually, I had 2 cancellations. One was, I didn't mean to buy it. And the other one was somebody who wanted negotiate the price after purchase. And I'm not going to negotiate the price after purchase because that means you're a difficult customer. And I don't have to have or deal with difficult customers on eBay. You can just cancel the sales and not deal with them. And no negative feedback can be left there and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what went on there. Any dang way. On to sales and a few finds. And we'll get going on that. All right. First up, a $6 book. Sort of glad it sold because it's been sitting around too long. Book. Political Expectation by Paul Tillich. I think this was a part of the finds I got a couple of years ago. I had a local person who was getting the big bins of books from a local bookstore or something like that, and she was selling these at 10 cents a piece. So it would either cost me $1, might have cost me $2. Either cost me $2 or 10 cents for this one, and sold for $6. So it'll just don't mind this too often. Actually, it helps my numbers stay up if I can get printed and get it out the door in time. Stuff like this actually does help, even though you don't necessarily make a lot of money on it. You just can't do that regularly, otherwise you won't make any money doing anything. So there's that going on. Toys. Sold some old toys. This is Penguin. Not from the new series. This is Penguin from not Superpowers. Doesn't have the holes in the back. This is from the later DC Heroes series that was made early 90s, around the time this Batman movie, the first Batman movie came out. It used either the same or real similar molds to those, and so that's what this guy is. This went for $7.50. This is probably the low end of that figure range. So these are worth picking up for if you can get 50 cents a piece for, and I would say almost any non-fast food superhero figures are worth picking up for less than $1 a piece just about any day of the week anyway. So Penguin, good sale there. Actually, and I probably had him maybe 6 months sitting around, so a little slow but not too slow. Now to fast toy sales. This guy I listed last week. This is Brock Lesnar. This is the Brock Lesnar, some sort of mutant mayhem wrestling figures mold. This went for $11. Picked him up for $1. So happy to see that guy out. 6-inch figures aren't worth as much as I think they either used to be or almost could be. The value on those has kind of come down, which is really interesting because there's a lot of good technology that's gone into making action figures lately. And 6-inch figure lines are, some of these guys, when I was a kid, I shot a guy for some of them. And so figures like that, particularly the modern G.I. Joes, are really, really neat figures, and they're not selling for a bunch necessarily, other than to like when they first come out. So that is some pretty good toy sales there. All right, a few more books before we get to the big boy here. This batch, History of Western Philosophy. 3 of the volumes. These went for a little over $14. For these 3 books, picked these up Goodwill. Somebody's dropped off a whole bunch of philosophy books, and I picked up all the ones I think that had reasonably decent resale value. If they flip over to the Last Chance, where things go to a quarter piece, I may pick up a bunch more to bundle to sell. But there's a lot of them that really weren't worth more than $2 or $3 a piece, which is kind of interesting. But some of them were, and that batch was. I got a few more, but not many, that were worth a little bit more than that. All right. Next up, probably my big book sale today. Weavertown Church History. Memoirs of an Amish Mennonite Church. And this went for $30. $29.99. Probably picked it up for $2. Local history. Very specific, drilled down histories. They sell. They'll take a while. They may take a while. I am sitting on a few other local history books that they'll go, and then you get kind of what you ask for them. Like, make sure yours, this is one of the situations. I made sure mine was the cheapest on the market, and it sold before the other guys. I think there were other guys with $50, $60 books because there was only like 2 other ones for sale. Just make sure yours is the cheapest. Local history sells, but make sure yours is the cheapest. And yours is going to be the one that people buy. And you don't even have to make it the cheapest by like a lot. You can make it just a few bucks, undercut the guy trying to sell it for a whole bunch of money. And when people want it, they'll get yours. So that's that. And finally, on to the big boy. Picked this guy up a few weeks ago. Rob the Robot, the Nintendo robot. This guy from 1985. This went for $70. Got it for like $7 at a thrift store. Doesn't have the battery cover. Works to some degree. Like the motor, you stick the batteries in him and he goes, and it's really, really loud. This is probably the least expensive one. The price I sold it at, working ones or decent ones that had like the battery cover were going for about $100. And so this one, I think I took probably about maybe a little less, but it was the first big hit I got on this one. I think there were a couple guys trying to offer me $50 for it, and I wasn't going there yet. But somebody offered me $70. I was like, yeah, let's do that. So we hit it up and we got it sold. So packing him up actually may be a little bit of a challenge. I think I got a good box for him, but it's a little bit of an awkward size to ship out and you may have to go box hunting for it. So that's my sales. Finds wise, more local history. Cookeville and Putnam County. I've actually sold some of these series of these books. I think they kind of go to local museums for printing for, good collections of photographs and local history stuff. So I've got a couple of different types of these books. I actually recently sold one for like 10, $15. I got a couple more here. And so I grab those every time I see them. Beatrix Potter, A Life in Nature by Linda Lear. This is a $10 to $15 book. So hopefully see a little bit out of that. And more religious stuff. Books of Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees. Some sort of older translation by B.B. Charles. Another $15 to $20 book on lost books of the Bible. There's a reason they were lost. Study history. Okay. Next up, Final Finds. Me and my son worked on this one a little bit. Beyblades. I don't know. I know enough about Beyblades to grab them when I see them for like less than $1 a piece, give or take. My son really knows how to bear down on which ones are which, so he did some research on them and gave me some ideas on, pulled out the ones that he thought were probably worth a little bit and what I needed to list individually. And so I will double check his work and see what he came up with, and then probably lot up the rest in various lots. These lot up $3 to $5 a piece, or big parts lots at, like full ones for like $3 to $5 a piece. It seems to be about what these go for. I've sold them before in big lots, but I have a source who's knowledgeable on how to recognize the good ones, and so he can grab them, look them up. He's learning how to do this stuff, which is a good skill. I think that, and I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but teaching your kids and knowing how to resell stuff, particularly if it has high value, not necessarily like $6 books, but knowing how to resell something that has reasonably decent value rather than donating it, rather than dumping it at a yard sale for a few bucks. Knowing how to resell something is a pretty useful skill that I think a lot of people should know more about how to do. So it's really good. My parents sometimes give me stuff. Hey, can you sell this? I'm like, yes, I can. And everybody comes out happy. Or happier. So that's that. I am getting off because this stuff's got to get packed and get out. And I've got work to do, and you've got work to do, and we've got work to do. So get stuff listed, get stuff sold. Christmas is starting to ramp up, so people are starting to look for stuff. So you need to start getting stuff listed. I need to start getting stuff listed. Did a good job listing last week, even when I didn't necessarily feel like it. So we'll see how it crashes out. So y'all be good. Like, comment, subscribe. Pick up next time I see you.